Hi guys, this is Debs, aka Sunayoshi from LiveJournal, here doing another summary because I am a lazy tard and neglected to do one last week. I actually didn't really have much to say, to be honest. I mean, aside from the fact that Shoichi is weeping like a widow over the loss of his husband and marshmallow rapist, Byakuran. So, I just decided to pick it up here with chapter 282, where it is actually really finally over after Amano does a bit of messy housekeeping, shall we say. So, without further ado, Reborn 282. The chapter actually starts with Shoichi's big white circular boob thing, which they are going to use to get back to the past. Verde will be playing the delightful role of Vanna White, assisting in getting everyone back home safely. Reborn is a little skeptical of Verde's motives and asks if, Verde can be trusted because he's smarmy and a scientist and he has glasses that can do that weird anime glint where no one can see his eyes. So, of course, I think everyone has reasonable doubt in Verde. But apparently Verde has been touched by Uni's startlingly noble sacrifice and decides that he owes her something too. I mean, honestly, though, when you think about it, what's Verde gonna do? Send them back several million years in the past to get eaten by dinosaurs? Except the dinosaur eating kind of already happened with Byakuran, so yeah, I can't really think of anything Verde would do, to be honest. In the meantime, Squallow and Yamamoto are having delightful lovers' farewells, I suppose. Yamamoto kind of doubts the fact that he'll never be able to outdo Squallow as a swordsman. Squallow is angry, and Yamamoto just makes this really sickeningly adorable face. And I guess that just kind of prompts Squallow to want to jump off a cliff and commit suicide. But before then, he kind of just shakes his stump and is like, "Back when I was in the war, we would walk 15 miles in the snow uphill with one arm to kill people. You kids these days don't know the meaning of assassination." And then he throws himself over a cliff. I don't know why. I don't know where he goes. I'm kind of entertained that she decides that the last thing of TYL Squall that we get to see, though, is his fabulous hair. Meanwhile, back in, I guess this would be Hibari's base, or wherever the fuck they are, Ryohei is kind of freaking out over going back to the past and meeting his future girlfriend, Chan. I just kind of really have nothing entertaining to say about this panel because it speaks for itself, really. I mean, his eyes, they look like tits. It's pretty awesome. Meanwhile, Mukuro and Chrome are being fucking adorable. Or, I guess if you want to be really correct about it, Chrome is being fucking adorable and Mukuro is looking at her and going, "I will see your future self in bed." And then after Mukuro and Chrome's adorable moment, we reach the part of the chapter that I'm sure everyone has been waiting for, and that is talking about Gokudera's mommy. Yeah, over the course of this series, I've seen people think that Ghost is Gokudera's mommy. I have seen people think that Daisy is Gokudera's mommy. We actually get to find out the truth about Gokudera's mommy. She's still dead. Surprise! Actually, the apparently shocking part about all this is supposed to be that his daddy really did love her, and she didn't want to marry him because she was dying of a terrible terminal illness. To add to the very sad nature of this entire story, it wasn't that she died of a car crash that was engineered by Gokudera's father. No, actually she died on her way to the birthday party from her illness. So she really wouldn't have made it either way you cut it. You think about this at first and you're like, oh, how sad. She never would have seen little Gokudera one last time. And then you really think about it and think, wow, actually this is kind of awkward. See, let me illustrate it for you for a second here. She was in the car when she died, which means she had to have gotten into the car at point A here. The car careened off a cliff and she was in a terrible accident at point B. But as we see, Bianchi claims that she was dead before that, meaning she died somewhere in between point A and point B, which means there was a dead lady behind the wheel for God knows how long before the car went shooting off into the black abyss. I actually laughed when I read the translation because when I was reading the Japanese script, I thought I had misread that part of the chapter because it sounded really silly. I don't know. Maybe I should give more faith in Amano. Maybe I should just say that, hey, maybe she's trying to make some sort of deep social commentary. Like, no matter how pretty and talented and in love with a mafia boss you are, you can still die by doing something pixie stick snortingly retarded, like trying to drive a car while you are terminally ill. For better or worse, Gokudera really doesn't have much time to contemplate what these new revelations mean because Spanner's Mosca comes shooting out of God fucking knows where. After this, everyone has said their goodbyes and we are all ready to go back to the past. Shoichi wants everyone to do the time warp again. Suna comes home and he and Ipin and Lambo are happily reunited with his mother. Suna Mama, yay! But more importantly, we get delicious, sexy TYL characters. Look at them, aren't they attractive? There's actually only one problem with this panel, and that is how the fuck did everyone suddenly know about the entire plan that TYL Suna made to get the entire ball rolling on this TYL arc shenanigans? Because as far as I remember, only Hibari and Shoichi and Suna were supposed to know. When you first see Gokudera at the beginning of the future arc, he's kind of flipping his shit and is like, you have to kill Shoichi. So someone must have told them what the fuck was going on while they were chilling in that big white machine over there. That's the only explanation I can think of that would make sense. Maybe Shoichi was like telepathically messaging them while they sat in the machine playing poker or God fucking knows what. And then we get to the most important part of the chapter, which is TYL Suna's legs. Yeah, Amano decided to be a horrific bitch and not give us anything else. But I think I had already come to terms with the fact, and look at his legs. Those are like the most attractive pair of legs I've ever fucking seen. It's wonderful. I'm actually kind of still ecstatic that I could see his legs, even though I'll have to wait like forever to see his face. I'm holding out hope that next week he will see him, but probably not. So, yeah. It is the end of an era, you guys. I was actually thinking about this and realized that, I started reading Reborn about at the beginning of the TYL arc, I think. So this is new. We are embarking on a brave new world here with a new arc and new things to see and new gay faggots to meet. I actually was trying to figure out what the next arc of Reborn would be like, and so far I have come up with 3 ideas. 1, they go back to the past and realize Mukuro is going to get executed, spend hundreds of chapters trying to go save him, but ultimately have it be all for naught. Yeah, that's my first idea. Second idea is that Hibari gets kidnapped by a horrible pedophilic snake-themed villain, shoved into a barrel and whisked away, and then we do the time warp again. Third idea is that, someone, probably Kyoko, gets jailed for doing something unspeakably horrible based on the bylaws of some secret society she happens to be a member of, and Suna and everyone else must travel into the underworld to rescue her from being impaled by a giant flaming bird. I can't decide which one of these is the best. I think they're all pretty good, but yeah, we'll see next week, guys. That's really all I have to say now, so I hope you enjoyed the review, and Basu out!